Another reason why people struggle with this concept is because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of stepping outside of the comfortable and familiar. It's easier to stay stuck in old patterns, even if they don't serve us, because at least they're predictable. At least they're familiar. The unknown can be a terrifying place, and the idea of taking control of our own reality can seem overwhelming. But here's the thing. It's only when we step into the unknown, when we embrace uncertainty and take a leap of faith, that we begin to unlock the full power of the mind. It's in that space of uncertainty that the magic happens. It's crazy, but it works. The key to harnessing this power is understanding that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not a quick fix or a one-time event. Transformation is a process of shifting our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. It requires consistent practice and dedication. But the beauty of this process is that once you begin to tap into the power of your mind, you begin to see the world in a completely new light. You begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and possibilities that you never saw before. You start to realize that the universe is responding to you, not the other way around. This is where the concept of gratitude comes in. Gratitude is more than just a feel-good emotion. It is a powerful tool for shifting your energy and aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. When you are grateful, you are vibrating at a higher frequency, one that attracts more of what you want into your life. And the more you practice gratitude, the more you begin to see evidence of the universe's support. Things begin to align, and what once seemed impossible starts to become possible. It's crazy, but it works. But don't just take my word for it. Look around you. Look at the countless people who have defied the odds, who have healed themselves, who have created lives beyond their wildest dreams. They didn't do it by conforming to the limitations of the world around them. They did it by believing in the power of their minds and using that belief to change their reality. They understood that the mind is not a passive observer, but an active creator. And in that understanding, they unlocked the ability to manifest their desires and transform their lives. So, the next time you find yourself doubting your ability to create change, remember this. It's crazy, but it works. The power is within you. The key is to believe that it is possible, to take consistent action toward your goals, and to trust that the universe will support you in ways you can't yet see. It may not always make sense in the moment, and it may not always be easy. But if you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone, to embrace the unknown, and to trust in the power of your own mind, you will begin to see the impossible become possible. And once you do, you'll understand that what once seemed crazy is actually the most powerful force in the universe. The crazy thing is, it works. This idea isn't just theoretical. There are countless examples of people who have demonstrated the incredible power of the mind to heal, transform, and manifest the seemingly impossible. There are stories of people overcoming terminal illness, recovering from injuries, and achieving feats that defy logic. And the thing is, these people didn't necessarily have more talent, more resources, or more luck than anyone else. They simply believed, deeply and wholeheartedly, that they could create a different reality. They understood something fundamental. The mind doesn't just react to the world, it creates it. And once you understand that, you realize that the world you're experiencing is just a reflection of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you hold. The science of neuroplasticity, for example, reveals that the brain is constantly changing and adapting. It is not a static organ. It is malleable, capable of rewiring itself in response to new experiences and beliefs. This means that you are not doomed to live with the same patterns of thinking, the same limitations, or the same physical state forever. By consciously changing the way you think and feel, you can literally rewire your brain and transform your life. It's crazy, but it works. But let's take a step back for a moment. Why is it that, despite all this knowledge, so many people still struggle to believe in the power of the mind? Why do we continue to fall back into old patterns of thinking, doubting our own ability to create change, and attributing our circumstances to external forces? Part of it lies in the conditioning we've received from society. From a young age, we're taught to focus on the external world, our grades, our achievements, our successes. We are taught to measure our worth by external standards, and as a result, we often forget that we have the ability to create our own reality. We've been trained to think that the world is fixed, that things are just the way they are, and that we must adapt to them. But what if the true power lies in the ability to change the way we see the world, rather than simply accepting it as it is? What if the key to unlocking our potential is not in trying to control the world around us, but in mastering the way we respond to it? It's crazy, but it works. These words can seem like a paradox, something that defies logic, yet somehow, against all odds, produces results. In our world, we tend to categorize things as either rational or irrational, real or unreal, possible or impossible. But there's a fine line between the boundaries we construct with our minds and the reality that lies beyond them. When we push past the surface of conventional thinking and step into the realm of possibility, things often unfold in ways that challenge everything we think we know. If you look at how things have evolved in our modern world, you'll notice one common theme. The seemingly impossible has become possible. Think about the way humanity once looked at flight. For centuries, humans stared up at the sky, wishing, dreaming, and wondering what it would be like to soar like birds. Yet, it wasn't until we set aside what we thought was possible and began to imagine the impossible that we figured out how to fly. It took time, persistence, and a rapid shift in thinking. People didn't just look up and think, "That's crazy." They thought, "What if?" That simple shift in mindset, moving from disbelief to possibility, unlocks doors that would otherwise remain shut. And this shift doesn't just apply to flight or technology. It applies to every aspect of human life, from health to relationships, to our understanding of the mind itself. We often hear that the mind is a powerful tool. But what does that truly mean? What happens when we realize that the mind isn't just something that processes information, but a force capable of shaping reality itself? For too long, we have been taught that the mind is only a passive observer, taking in the world as it is and responding to stimuli. But what if the mind is not just observing, but actively creating? What if our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs don't simply react to the world around us, but actually shape the world we experience? It's crazy, but it works. The idea that our thoughts can influence our physical reality is one that seems difficult to grasp for many. We've been conditioned to believe that our circumstances dictate our emotions, our health, and our overall experience. We're told that we must react to what's happening to us, and that our lives are subject to external forces beyond our control. But what if it's the other way around? What if we have more control than we realize? What if our thoughts and beliefs, our mental and emotional state, are the primary forces that shape the reality we experience? This is where things get interesting, because once you start to realize that the mind can influence the body, the world around you, and even the future, you begin to understand that the way we've been thinking about reality is only a small fraction of what's possible. The concept of mind over matter, although often dismissed as wishful thinking or a fantastical notion, is grounded in real science. Quantum physics, for example, shows us that at the smallest level, the universe doesn't behave according to predictable, fixed laws. Particles behave unpredictably, existing in multiple states at once, and only when observed do they choose a specific position. This suggests that consciousness itself plays a role in shaping the reality we perceive.